Hello. How go? How is? We good? Is all well in the land beyond the streams? Here we go again. It's Tuesday. It's a Final Fantasy Drawthrough. Yes, it is. Hi, Ragdoll. Dancing along to the music. I thought I'd have something fun before we descend into the madness of this game. Well, we just need to budge things along in these streams. One day I'll be set up before I start streaming. Today is not that day. So yeah. Are we good? Hope we're good. Hope we're all grand and fine and grandy. Fine and grandy. That's the thing, right? Yeah. Let's hop on over. I like how the chat refreshes when I do that, so Ditto reappears. Yeah. So last time, some things happened. Let's recap those things. So we had another dream about Jimmy. And Jimmy has been captured and was sent to Estus, some things, yes. And is working as a slave, I guess, under the control of the sorceress Copyright, who is the sorceress from the past, who was in charge of Estus, and is working on a big old machine thing. Over the course of doing this, they befriend a Mumba, and somebody suggests that they join the resistance against the sorceress. And they say, sure, why not? They beat up some guards, they make it out and find a scientist called Dr. Frameman, please? Not Dr. Frameman, it's something different. Called Dr. Mangle, who's working on this big old machine thing, but he runs away having told them that Dishy, the little baby Dishonor Jessie, is in Estus. Which is why Jimmy's here, and the other two are here as well, because you gotta have a group of friends. Eventually they break out and they find little Dishy, and somebody suggests that maybe Jimmy should be the leader of the resistance, for reasons nobody can quite ascertain, including Jimmy. And then we wake up from our dream. While this was happening, TM, who is now no longer evil, because the control of the future sorceress, STPP, has been relinquished, and she is now back to her normal self. She comes to Estus and says, "Oi, I don't want to be a sorceress anymore. I hear you have technology to get rid of that." And they're like, "Sure, come with us. We need to go to space." Something a little fishy about that little Dishy. Oh, that's her. And so yeah, we then go to space in a big old space gun. That happens. Meanwhile, a mysterious cube appears on the horizon, but we'll get to that later. Also, hi Mist, how you doing? We rub a lamp as well just before we go, and we find a new gremlin friend. Hello, gremlin friend. It's Dark as well. Hello. Hey Dark, look, we rubbed a lamp. Yeah, then we went to space because Cheery is still in a coma, for reasons as yet unascertained. You're good. How am I? I'm alright, I guess. I suppose. It's a Chib. Hello, Chib. Welcome to the Nonsense Hour. Yeah, so the scientists whisper to themselves as to what's going on here, and we don't quite know. But while we're here, we learn a few things. We learn that all of the monsters on the planet come from the moon. The moon occasionally builds up with so many monsters that they escape the gravity of the moon and crash land on Earth. This is called a lunar cry, and it happened a long, long time ago. And the sorceress, Copyright, who is now here, trapped in space, happy to be here for all the dumbass nonsense. There will be much of it today. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So yeah, the Copyright. She tried to make another lunar cry happen, but they trapped her before she could do it, and that's a thing. But we're now in space, and we want to work out what's going on with Cheery and how to fix it. That is just an empty layer, so I'll get rid of that. While on the space station, we find Dishonored Jessie. She's here for reasons. You think all monsters come from the moon was so stupid that you blocked it from your brain. That's perfectly acceptable. Unfortunately, the plot will not let you do that, because it will come back again today. So we meet Dishonored Jessie on the station for reasons, and we say, "Oi, you, I want to go back in time because I want to stop Cheery from ever falling into a coma. You keep sending our brains back in time to Jimmy's stuff. I want to go back into, I don't know, my own brain, whatever. And Sai is emoting, yes, this is the second time. I literally copied and pasted it from the first time. And Dishonored Jesse says, look, this whole thing with me sending your brains back to the past to Jimmy and all that was me trying to change the past because I didn't like the fact that my mother died alone while he was out looking for me. But it turns out I didn't realize he was out looking for me. I thought he was just somewhere else. And now I've sort of come to accept the past. So that's what that can be used as a tool for. Rather than changing the past, it can become a tool for accepting it. And Simon goes, screw that, I want to change it. So that doesn't really get anywhere. But it's basically ascertained that you can't send your brain back and change things in the past. Because stuff. And then sirens go off. Awooga, 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 abandoned ship. Meanwhile, back on Earth, big cube starts floating across the city. It is explained that this cube contains a massive old crystal that we saw earlier in the game, that was dug up and turned into a ship by copyright. And that ship is called the Lunatic Pandora. So it has two moods, it's meh and meh. Yeah. So yes, the Lunatic Pandora, and it flies over the city briefly. So Team Pikachu, who are still on Earth, Terra, Gaia, whatever, they jump on and try and sort this out. There are Galbadian soldiers in there, which is a bit unusual, but they managed to get somewhere they managed to get towards this weird floating suit of armor, and it literally psychically picks them up off the ground and throws them out. So that doesn't really work. And then it makes its way, the big old floating cube makes its way to where it was trying to go in the first place, which is Tears Point, I believe the location of the previous Lunar Cry. Yeah, and that's what happened last time. everyone catched up, catch-a-goo-gooed. Well, I hope so, because we're carrying on. Right, back to space. So Awooga Awooga abandoned ship and all that. Let's start there. Awooga Awooga abandoned ship. While the Awooga Awooga abandoned ship is happening, let's get some settings so that things actually look not terrible. That would be ideal. How's everybody's week beginning? Is it going well? So yeah, while that's happening, the Snow White sauna medical thing opens up. Just sort of like that. It's all sci-fi. There's the smoke coming out. Is it just a Japanese thing that monsters come from the moon? You see it in games and anime a lot. It does. I don't know. Final Fantasy has a thing about the moon. Final Fantasy IV in particular has a lot of moon stuff, which I actually don't know an awful lot about because I haven't finished that game. But yeah, moons and other planets and alternate universes. I don't know. Good start, more or less. Doing some doodles for things. Ooh, I saw doodles on Twitter. They were good. I need to move things. Right. Yeah. So that happens. And moreover, she gets up. No, other doodles. Ooh, other doodles. She gets up and she starts walking around. Not really, sort of properly. She's still, her eyes are still closed. Have I drawn much today? Yes, not too much. This is not the first thing I've drawn. That's the important bit. This is very exciting music. What's going on here? So she's still snoring away. But yes, I have also been drawing things for things. Probably different things. I would be very surprised if it's the same thing, because I haven't told anyone about the other thing. Well, I've told you about it, but you don't know what it is. So yeah, she's doing a whole zombie shuffle again. You're all emotion again because you started Attack on Titan and just holy hell. That's the thing. I don't know what I don't know what. But I know I love you. Oh, I did, yeah, no, I forgot there was something else I was doing. Trying to do some studies of sort of kids' illustrations, and I found, what's his name? The guy what did the old Winnie the Pooh drawings and the old Wind in the Willows. I was doing some studies of those. Trying to work out how to do those loose, cute pencil sketches. How do feet work? Doesn't matter too much, although I will be using this drawing 3 times. Do you know what? I haven't even gotten to this bit yet, and I'm already starting to go, why? There's a bit just a little bit later, and I'm just like, oh no, I know why. That's fine. I mean, there's going to be a lot of why happening today, but that's not one of them. Do you work it out, please share? There's a couple of things I've worked out. I'm not really a hatcher, so that's not ideal for me. Anyway, so she's doing her thing. You love Tove Janssen's art? She created the Moomins, always cute art. Ah, I know. That's cool. So yeah, she's just wandering along the space station, doing some weirds, because she also has a weird sort of trail behind her, which is totally normal. Nothing strange going on here. Awooga. This looks like Sonic in a dress with longer hair. Yeah, so I can't remember at what point we decided that she was wearing Sonic's clothes. But you know. God, music. So yeah, that's happening, and we decided that when Simon first passed out in front of her. I remember that. Oh well, these things happen. So yeah, she's wandering around in space. Also, for the purposes of illustration, which is literally the whole point of these streams, here is a scientist. They wear an lab coat. They have the doctor's thing and a stethoscope. That's a scientist, right? And pens in their pockets and little faces. This is a scientist. For the purposes of illustration, this is a reenactment of what happens when someone tries to go near her while she's sleepwalking. Like that. So, you know, that's not great. So after 7 or 8 scientists are just sort of knocked unconscious by being thrown around by weird sleepwalking cheery, you're gonna look for a bit. We'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Cool, cool. I don't know how long that is. I'm guessing bloody ages though, because they haven't worked out how to shake it properly. Yeah, so I'll go away, you. That's better. Yeah. So she's just sleepwalking around the scientific base in space, and she's pressing buttons and she's going to computers and looks like she knows what she's doing apart from the fact that she's asleep. And people can't stop her because they keep getting thrown to the walls. So it's not great, all things considered. Simon eventually shows up and goes, "Oi, Cheery, what are you doing? You're awake." And nothing happens. Space base. We're in space. Hang on. There is a thing for this, isn't there? Yeah, space. It's the space base. Yeah, so she starts messing around with buttons and people can't stop her. And oh no, what's going on? What's she actually doing? She starts, and some of the scientists run up and go, "No, you can't press that button." And she presses a button, and what happens? If you remember, here is the weird circular prison with the sorceress in it. With the little things. It starts doing stuff. I don't know what it starts doing. It's all sci-fi nonsense. But basically it starts, I don't know, some gas starts coming out of it or something. Also moon. Don't forget there's a moon here. And somebody else looks at another monitor and is like, "Oh no, weird things are happening on the moon as well." And they look at the moon, and all the monsters are all gathering in one place. Let's say around here. And they form like a weird, slightly shiny bubble thing. I don't really know what this is, but it looks horrible. And yeah, so that's not good. Lots of things are happening inexplicably. So she's wandering around and so on and so forth. And then she gets into a spacesuit and leaves via a space dock. Like this. There's the oxygen. There she goes. She goes from here to here. Yeah, they should have thought of better ways to deal with all the monsters on the moons. That seems like their fault. There's a lot of monsters. It's like millions. That said, they did manage to trap the sorceress in space, and I don't know how you do that. So, yeah, so after she's wreaked havoc and pressed all the buttons, she wanders, still asleep, still sleepwalking, wobbling from side to side with a magic force field around her. Yeah, she gets into a spacesuit and just sort of floats off towards the thing. Let's draw the thing. What's this? Oh yeah. Let's match those. So don't get confused. Simple, just blow up the moon. Look, I've seen the worst episode of Doctor Who. I know where this leads. Right, so this was a terrible idea. Why am I doing this? The moon is an egg. Oh, don't. Yeah, so this is sort of like I don't really know how to draw this weird prison thing. It's all sort of technological and stuff. There's like the silhouette of the sorceress in it. Moon is Agent 47, yeah. If only. There's an agreed upon worst episode? No, just in my opinion. Actually, I believe one of the agreed upon worst episodes is the last episode, but I haven't seen that, so I can't hold any particular opinion. Does she not need to breathe? She's a sorceress. She can do what she wants. I think she's in a field of some description. I don't know. There's like some sort of... She's not... Like, there's some sort of casing over the front of this. It's weird. Anyway, here's the Watsits. Here's the Space Watsits. More cards! Wonder if you can play cards in this sequence. Probably. And what happens is good old Cheery flies around, basically unbuckling these and generally making it pretty obvious that whatever's going on has probably got something to do with the sorceress. I don't know what spacesuits look like. What do they look like? No moon and no consequences on account of Green Man. What? If you can trap her out here, why not just kill her when she's helpless if she's so dangerous? Look, I don't know. You never want to know. What a surprise! To be fair, it could have been the moon. It's could have been like a weird Bloodborne thing. Yeah. So these little dots and things make it look like the CPU from Final Fantasy IV. Is it really a suit if there's no tie? Well, we haven't seen the front yet, so... Yeah, and so what basically happens is... Off in the distance, we see the moon. And the moon is definitely in line with this. Okay. It's also round, please. Thank you. Blood Moon is Bloodborne and Legend of Dragoon. I'm sure there's another Final Fantasy that has moon-based stuff. No, that's Sky. Final Fantasy IX is Sky Eye, isn't it? It's not really a moon. And planets and stuff. There's a moon. No ties. Abolish all ties. I have a lot of ties. I don't know why I have a lot of ties, because I don't really like wearing them. But I have a lot of them. Anyway, the bulge gets too great and too big and too powerful. And it begins to splurge outwards. The lunar cry is happening again. Oh no, why is that? Well, it really does look quite disgusting in there. This all seems horribly planned on Estes' part. It really, it's mostly we just arrived one day and then everything went wrong. Because if we go back to Earth, if you remember, boom, this is happening. Turns out, big old cube, floating over the place where the lunar cry happened last time. Turns out that's a bit of a problem because the big old cube was designed to make the lunar cry happen again, because copyright wanted to flood the Earth with monsters. I don't know why, but she did. Why did they let us into Estes anyways? I don't know. We found a hexagon. The bulge gets too great and too powerful. Oh yes. And so a lunar cry happens. Literally lots of monsters come flooding down from the sky and just covering everything. That's it's gonna get very slow, isn't it? Yes, there's in the midst of this is just lots of little monsters. Lots of little. Etc. etc. Do we have just like lots of dots? Okay, monsters are also look like sparkles now, just for the sake of me not bothering. There you go. So they all come raining down on the planet and basically destroy Estus. Estus gets pretty much obliterated. This is a big thing. I don't think I'm really doing a good job explaining that this is quite a significant thing that's happening. 2021 hasn't been going on for 2 weeks, and I think between Chris Dark and I, we've already said quite the number of questionable quotes. Yeah. So yeah, the Lunar Cry has happened, and more monsters are now on the Earth. Which is the perfect justification for the endgame Final Fantasy. Oh look, the overworld is slightly different and all the monsters are harder now. Yeah, so that's fun. But in the process, because I definitely lined this up and it was good, the Lunar Cry also hits the sorceress's prison. It all comes this way, like that, and drags it back down to Earth. So now all of the things that were keeping her in are unlocked, and she's back down on Earth. So that's good. Slash Gaia slash Terra, whatever it's called. Actually, let's look this up. Tetra? What? I've never heard of Tetra. The world of Final Fantasy VIII has no known name. Okay, so there's no reference to it. Okay, I'm gonna call it Earth with an F. FF therefore Gaia. Sometimes it's Terra. That's the thing. Sid, Gil, and Gaia are 3 constants. Again, it could be Terra. Doing a good job of letting us know this is a big thing, but at this point your reaction to everything is just, this might as well happen. Anyway, in the process... Sorry. Honestly, this feels like it should be a mid-game plot, not disc 3. Yeah, I just before I started streaming, I looked up the end plot of this game because I was like, have I missed something? Surely we're not near the end already. Like, this feels too significant to be near the end, right? And no, I was right. So, here we are. Which one is Terra? There's a few that are Terra, aren't there? There's definitely, I mean, there is the Terra in 9, but that's slightly different. It's also Spira. Yeah, if I type in 9, you're going to get results for 9, aren't you? If you type in Final Fantasy Terra, you're going to get Final Fantasy 6. I'm sure of one of the old ones it was called Terra. There's multiple planets in 4 as well, not 4, 5. No, well, it might just be Gaia. You might be right. Interesting ideas, horrible pacing. It's just like, you could make 3 games out of the things they try and do in this game, and by putting them all together, they are worse than a third of each of them. Yeah, so stuff. What was I talking about? Yes, so she's now on the planet. Cheery gets sort of hit by the blast and just sort of floats out off into the nowhere. and people on the space station decide to actually do something. And by do something, I mean run away from the space station because it's probably going to explode or something stupid. Oh, it probably gets hit by the lunar cry or whatever. Anyway. And so Cheery died. She's now out in space and she's low on oxygen. So what happens is everybody on board the spaceship gets into these like halo-like drop pods. I vaguely remember the perspective being something like this. And by everyone I mean like a scientist, Dishonored Jesse, Simon, and whoever else came up here. I think we brought up Buckethead. What was his name? Jesse McCree. Because we left Pikachu and Jenny to have fun down on the planet, and Velma is nowhere to be found. So we get into these sort of weird drop pod things, which are these are absolutely not space elevators. Right, flags. Either Frayman, Twitchman, let me watch the stream. It's, I don't know. We have dropped some frames, so. Left and came back to Frayman chewing on your cables. The stream died for a moment. Sorry about that. Also, Love Grows has been playing in the background while I haven't been talking, so that's a copyright strike. You're back, Twitch died. Oh, yeah, I guess it is that time. Sorry. Let me know in Discord if you can't chat. Nothing happened, basically. So, yeah. Simon, Jesse McCree, and Dishonored Jesse are in a pod, heading back to Earth, because I don't know what to do. There is a point in this, I forgot to mention, there is a point in this where you put on a spacesuit, try to leave the space station to stop Cheery, but then she leaves, and then you come back and take the spacesuit off. I don't really remember what that's about. It just happens. Jesse McCree has so much to do. Well, given that you can decide who comes with you, it's pretty obvious they're not going to do much. It's just, hey, do you want another character to come with you? There aren't even any fights up here. That's because I haven't drawn him up here. Terra's only FF9 is a planet a lot of people and bosses named Terra throughout the series. Oh, okay, fair enough. That was just me having a bad memory then. That happens quite a lot. Why am I doing a draw through? So the emotion is still happening. I don't count this as a separate emotion. Doing a draw through because it's fun? Question mark? Is it truly fun if we no longer have Lamp? I think it's more my love of FF9. No, absolutely not. Because as soon as that name is mentioned, my love for FF9 goes out the window. That's when FF9 becomes terrible. Yeah, it's just the most precipitous drop of any game in the series. But the beginning's so good. Which is probably why it's the most precipitous drop. But anyway. We're not doing the FF9 draw through yet. That's for 2022. No Monkey Knife Thief. We'll get there. We will do it. Because I love the opening of FF9. so much. We will eventually do it. Anyway, Jesse McCree's just bored on his phone. He's got nothing to do. Isn't it fun to think that mobile phones just weren't a thing when this... I mean, they existed, basically. They were bricks, but... You can have your Nokia, you know? Nokia 3310. You can play... He's playing Snake. That's what he's doing. So hang on, let me rejig this. So yeah, Jesse McCree's playing Snake. Because he ain't got nothing else to do. He's got service in space. You don't need service to play Snake. I do miss phones that you could run over with a car without a worry. Now, one of my previous dogs completely wrecked my phone, so I don't rate the durability of those. I was very angry about that. Anyway, Dishy's here as well. I never remember how to draw you, so don't worry. Anyway, so yes, Simon is still pleading as to, like, you gotta do something, like, put me back in the past. I don't care if it's not gonna work. She's literally out in space dying at the moment. I'll try anything at this point. Put me back in her body or whatever in the past, if you'd be so kind. And so that Jesse has big hands. Plan was stupid from the beginning. Almost every plan in this game is stupid, except the ones that other people tell you to do. So she's like, oh, okay, okay. It's got a sorceress magi plan. Just let Cherry die. Never. So yeah, she said, okay, right, hold still, you're gonna fall asleep. And I'll send you back to hopefully a relevant place in the game. So we get a flashback. What order do the flashbacks happen in? There's a few, I can't remember, most of them are unimportant. So one flashback we get, if you remember this, is in the desert. Do you remember the desert prison? So there's like desert mountains in the background and stuff. And then there's the cars that look like they were made of Lego. Do you remember those? Because I can't draw cars or trucks. Because if you remember, back when we were in prison, so is this really the time to do any of this? What about the monsters from the moon on Earth? Don't you register? He's blinded by love. And this is why, despite the fact that I can find absolutely no reference to it in the story at all, Ragdoll's explanation of, I'm sure this love is in some way influenced by magic, makes a hell of a lot more sense than what the plot's actually telling us. It's got like a turret on the front. That's big old windows. Love. If they go back in time to fix this, then none of this would have happened. Did you see? Exactly, he's trying to stop her from ever having gotten into that point in the first place. I've watched enough Doctor Who, I know how this works. Yeah, so it's cactuses. And then, since I'm probably not going to draw anything else. Oh no, I will. Oh, I will. Oh, I forgot about that. We'll get to that. Anyway, yeah, if you remember, when we were in the prison, just despite the fact that Jessie McCree and Cheery were not in the prison, because they weren't next to the sorceress when we attacked her, they came and helped break us out. And basically what we get is a little flashback to the trip to the prison, of them in the car together, and Jessie McCree just constantly saying, look, we should probably get back to, you know, the space pancake or the space potato or whatever and get reinforcements and stuff like that. And Cheery's like, no, we have to go and save Simon. Oh, and the others, I guess. Basically, it's trying to show, oh, look, she's loved him for ages. Reinforcement of a story point that we don't really... To be fair, the signs that she's liked him has been there from the beginning. It's the fact that he likes her that came out of nowhere. Is that the cactus you 3D rendered? Yes, it's a cactua. It's a little cactus friend. They exist in this world. More on those later. It's one of the... Again, another one of those constants. Gaia, Sid, Cactua, Tombury, Marlborough. More on those as well. Doesn't sound like love, that sounds more like another stupid Cheery plan. True. So basically, yeah, there's sort of arguments going on as to, you know, we should go to the thing. And Cheery basically hits Jessie McCree until they go there. Cactor, no, it's Cactua! 1,000 needles. Yeah, so that's one of the recurring enemies, the little Cactua. They're very small, they're very fast, very difficult to hit, and they run away. But they do have an attack called 1,000 needles, which just deals 1,000 damage, or occasionally 10,000 needles, which deals 10,000 damage, which is a lot, given that you have a maximum of 9,999 health. Cactua. Yeah, so this happens. There's a little flashback. It's just like a little, oh look, she liked him, and he's like, oh, she liked me, because he's an idiot. And then we get another flashback. Only this one's slightly more relevant because we get a flashback to, scrolling to find the scene I want. Where is the scene I want? Scrolling to find the scene I want. Where is the scene? It's not there. Hi Kyle, how you doing? Where is the scene I want? Where is the scene? Where is the scene? Do. Did I not have... There, let's do those. That'll do. Definitely planned this. Why are the two of you? Oh, I haven't turned off the old one. That makes sense. It's Kyle. You're just so not on board with this romance. You're not alone. Your life is a lie. To be fair, it was probably in one of the old ones. It was probably translated to Cactor. Like Tombury was Dingleberry and weird things. Oh, there's a cute little one. Oh. That was another thing I wanted to make a plush of. I'm Tombury is my favourite, but Cactua, they're also good. So yeah, do you remember? Oh god, here we go. Do you remember this scene just after we beat TM for the last time, where Cheery did her initial Zombo walk, and then leaned over to Kyle while he was unconscious on the floor and leaned his face close to hers. Leaned her face close to his. That's the way around. That's how grammar works, yeah? And in that time the stupidest plot point was introduced. Just you wait! Because now we are inhabiting Cheery's mind in the past. This is a flashback. We're going back here and we're in Cheery's mind. Which means we can hear, we can see what actually happened. What happened is that she whispered into his ear, and she whispered, "My faithful knight, the sorceress, wishes you to find the lunatic Pandora and dredge it from the ocean and take it to Tears Point, and then there'll be a lunar cry and all that sort of stuff, etc. Go do that, because you guessed it. And by you guessed it, I guess it's the only explanation that actually makes sense. All of this, what actually happened was that future sorceress, STPP, having finished possessing TM, began possessing Cheery. Yes, that's what's happening here. So now I have to learn to draw her. And we see her as like a force ghost. I think, does she have... I can't remember. She does have, hair horns. Like a couple of tubes that sort of stick out from a headdress, and then the rest is just sort of hair? Or is it the other way around? Is that hair? That might be hair. And then there's horns on the end. It's weird. I should know how to draw this dress. I drew it recently. She's got like weird veins. Yes, tied at the crotch dress. Also bobs. It just about covers up the bobs. Does have like weird puffs at the arms as well. But is otherwise relatively skin tight. She's also barefoot. I added heels to the Hitman drawing. Yeah, she has wings as well, doesn't she? I don't know if they're part of the dress. I didn't include them in my version of the dress, so I'm going to assume she has wings. Evil fashion doesn't have to make sense. When you're... This is future fashion. She's from the future, remember. So why she has to do things here in real time, I don't know. I guess when we go to the past, we have to do things in real time, so... Using so much duct tape to keep that dress in place, absolutely. The entire future of the planet was doomed once everyone worked out how much duct tape she needed. All resources were funneled into duct tape production. I don't think you're evil enough to appreciate it. Anyway, this is happening. But she, being also possessing her, because, hey, there are now two people possessing her, I guess, turns to us in our possession and goes, "What are you doing here? Stop it. This is my brain. I'm trying to inhabit this one." And I guess it's implied that us distracting her caused her to fall into a coma and just not be immediately possessed. I don't know. Possess the past. Yeah, so, STPP is possessing Cheery, but we're also doing it because we went back in time into her mind, because what's her face is doing it too. Well, Dishonored Jessie. She's sending our brain back into Cheery's brain. Yeah. So we get to see that this is what's happening. But maybe we knocked her out of the thing. I don't know what's going on with her foot here. She's a sorceress. It's fine. It's magic. Is that the same as possession? More on that later. So that will be explained. Probably not today, but at some point. I say explained, some words will be said about it. She looks like Rita Repulsa, that's fair. Why not? Yeah, there's a bit of it. Yeah, actually. She looks a little more, you know my drawing style. It's always going to come out goofier than it's supposed to. Ooh, that trumpet. The headgear, yeah. What is it's hair in the original, isn't it? There's a little text box with a quote. That. That's actually the conversation I'm referring to. That's when the explanation's going to happen. That's probably maybe not next time or the time after. There's some side stuff we need to do. Anyway, we still got to get back to Earth. But one more flashback, kind of. Yes, it is a flashback because she can only send brains into the past, but Simon says to dishonor Jesse, okay. One more thing, one last try. Can you send me back to as recent a past as you possibly can so that I can see if she's still alive out there? And she's like, oh, well, yes, try that. Just kind of skirting around the issue of, it's Akiro, hi. Welcome. Quick recap for Kiro, because that happens. Jiri got up and is doing the zombie shuffle and killing scientists. She also goes and unlocks the prison that Sorceress is being held in. And then the moon cries monsters down onto the earth because bad things. And Estes gets pretty much destroyed. And lots of monsters are now running amok. Simon is not happy about any of this, and so he says to dishonor Jesse, please send me back into the past. I know I can't change the past, but I'm gonna try. So we go back into the past. We hear a conversation back when we were in prison about Cheery wanting to come and rescue us. I have two pictures of that for some reason. Okay. We then go back and see that Cheery was actually being possessed by the future sorceress, STPP. Oh no! And that she gave instruction to Kyle to get the lunatic Pandora and do the whole thing with the Lunar Cry. So it's Kyle's been doing it. And now we're going to see what she's doing in space, whether she's still alive. Quick recap, things are weird. You can do it much faster than me, can't you? Everyone's being mean about evil fashion. Oh, defend absurd villain outfits with your dying breath. Look, when we get to FF9, you'll have your heart's desire. Because that doesn't change throughout the entire game. We'll be seeing that through the whole thing. Hope you like cod pieces. I know Miss does, because during the boss brush that I did of FF9, Miss really took a shine to that character. Oh yeah, the tie, forgot about that. So yeah, we go into the brain of very recent past Cheery. One thing I forgot to mention is that I guess it's kind of important to the plot point at this particular point. I could just not mention it, to be honest. It wouldn't really make much of a difference, but at least it gives context for what's happening here. It also gives context to the fact that Cheery can be quite stupid. So there have been moments in the times when we've been going back into the past and inhabiting the mind of Jimmy and such, where they've known that something's up. I think I mentioned it because I remember them having a conversation in Windhill when Jen came to visit, about how, hey, the fairies are back. These weird fairies in my head, they're back. So there is some notion that you can know something's there. And somehow, so Chiri's still alive, I should probably specify that, but she is just sort of aimlessly floating in space. But what happens here is, there's a couple of things I should probably get it straight, which means I should probably make this bigger. Big old helmet. So yeah, she's still alive, or at least she was in the near past. And somehow, it's that word again, somehow, she's not in a good way, really. Somehow Simon manages to communicate a few things. A, that he's there. Hey, I'm watching over you as mildly future fairy. And second, oh, also she has the. Do you remember the keychain? Clef key. Do you remember that? She still has that on a chain around her neck, and that gives her hope. I'm not sure why, but it does. This piece of music really, I've probably said this loads of times during the draw-through, but this really feels like it's out of Final Fantasy IX. So yeah, she's still got that on. And he also manages to communicate to her, hey, turn on the emergency oxygen tank that you have. That will probably help. So she manages to find that. It's not long. She does not have long on an emergency oxygen tank. These suits are not intended for long-term space floating. It's very small. It's fine, don't worry about it. How does Simon know she has an emergency oxygen tank? If you want to be generous, do you remember me saying the bit where Simon puts on a suit, goes and tries to chase her, but then she leaves and then he comes back and takes off the suit? Maybe he notices while he does that he knows he's got a suit. Actually, there might be in suits in the tubes. It doesn't matter too much. Final Fantasy logic. So yeah, he might notice because he wore one earlier. Maybe there is a point to that scene. Maybe they thought about that and added an unnecessary point of gameplay. I don't know what's going on with this Michelin man. Spacesuit, but it's fine. Final Fantasy logic. There's 3 words that shouldn't go together. It sure is mighty convenient that Simon just figured out how to communicate with people he's possessing, even though that's never come up before. Yeah, I don't think there's ever been any direct communication between people, but they have a connection. You see? They have a connection. Okay, so meanwhile she spirals off into the blackness. Oh no, goodbye. Simon meanwhile says, screw this, and gets out of his tube, puts on a spacesuit, and then just leaves and goes, I'm gonna fly towards you and save you. So yeah, and then you have this weird mini game of floating towards. I don't know how you float towards people in space. But Simon finds a way. So yeah, everyone else is still in the drop pods. This is just Simon. He's like, nope. I would rather die than see her die. Love story. Nonsense. Better love story than Twilight, etc. Is that still a meme? I'm not entirely sure it is a better love story than Twilight, all things considered. I have not seen Twilight, but I already doubt. So yeah, there's this weird minigame here where you're supposed to direct yourself through space to try and catch her. I always fail it because apparently forwards is not forwards in that minigame. Forwards is increase your pitch. It's weird. It's a weird minigame. Forgot about the love story. Well, it's basically all the rest of the game. Well, not really. Better love story than Twilight has been a meme since Twilight came out. I think you're fine. Yeah. So when he gets rid of the angst, he's a highly capable human being. Who knew? Not really. So yeah, this is Simon, trust me. Can't be bothered to draw it. This would have been an opportunity to draw like Among Us spacesuits, I guess. It's fine, don't worry about it. I've got weird enough things to draw as it is. Twitch tried again, sorry. Twitch tried again, the last thing you heard was, I think I probably ended that with not really. How could I have? It's been a very clear and strong story arc. Thank you. Is he capable? Is he? It still doesn't have to be. He's physically capable. That's the best we can say. Thank you for the bless yous. So yeah, space floating ensues. This music feels appropriate. This feels very old Final Fantasy. So yeah, while this is all happening, the lunar cry is happening and it's all bad. Space. So capable, not competent. That's true. That is it. That is the true thing. So yeah. Fun fact: if you want to imply detail, add squiggly shadows. So eventually, they catch up and they embrace, and he shares his oxygen with her because she was literally turning blue with asphyxiation by that point. Turns out it wasn't quite as recent past as they might have hoped. But they catch, and they embrace in space. However, the two of them are now just in space. The space station has been destroyed from the lunar cry. Everyone else is heading down to Earth. They're in space. Now, guess they'll die, but they'll die together. Now, what do you think happens? I want to hear your thoughts. Because there are several things that you think might be able to happen at this point, given what's already been set up. You shared your thoughts. They die, that's fair. They get eaten by a dragon and carried back to Earth. Mrs. Closest. They die and Jive is the new hero. Oh, I wish. Jen shows up. Oh, even better. Actually, hold that thought. So I guess Miss is probably the winner here. Gets eaten by a dragon and carried back to Earth. It's not literal, but unfortunately, none of you guessed. A random abandoned spaceship appears next to them that happens to be completely functional and habitable, and they get on it and they fly it back to Earth. And it's also shaped like a sort of dragon thing. I'm not entirely sure why, but it is. It's got like weird wings and yes, a MacGuffin. It's lit. I have no idea. How do you draw spaceships? I don't know. It's like it's called the Ragnarok. But yeah, it just literally floats into view, and it's like, oh, this abandoned spaceship that was just in space for reasons. That still has a good supply of oxygen and an ability to fly for reasons. Just happens to be in the right orbit and in the right place at the right time. Thanks. There we go, this is what I'm going to draw it as. It does have arms, actually. these will be important later. Got to give you spaceship arms. So yeah, this is very distant. Yeah, not an entirely successful shading job. Frame man. Frame me a man. Do, 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 do. It's called the MacGuffin, that's fair. You wish Jen showed up, that's fair. Frame man. To be fair, I'm not actually dropping that many frames. So it might be Twitch man. The space junk in this universe sure is high-tech. Yeah, it's completely intact. I still don't know why it's there. There's probably an explanation in the story, but I don't care. So yeah, they get on board, they find out that there's, you know, fully functioning life support systems and the engine's working and all that sort of stuff. There is only one problem. It is full of aliens. You might notice that I'm sort of skipping over a lot of detail here. It's because none of it matters. Love it when Frame Man needs to stream so you get to watch more adverts. Oh dear. Use Brave. Since using Brave, I've not had yet to have a Twitch advert. Because Twitch adverts are the worst. There may be many reasons, but it does not matter. So yeah, they find the space station, and Cheerio's like, "Oh, you rescued me! Hugs, hug time!" And he's like, "We don't have time for this," because he still can't bring himself to actually mention anything to do with emotions, despite the fact that he just risked his life to go out to space to save somebody. He's like, "We need to be professional." You tried Brave, but your laptop kept trying to cook itself. Oh, that's a shame. Have to delete it because you need your laptop. Oh, bugger. Now you're concerned about it. Look, Simon is now back to his unemotional state. Oh, it's time for the music. Yes, let's get the music up. This is the music that plays on the spaceship. Oh yeah, best music. Where is it? Give me the. There it is. I think this just underpins the futility of the love scene that just happened. I can't remember what these things look like. Oh, hang on, it's more like that, isn't it? They've got weird heads. I was going more for the alien from Aliens, because they're clearly going for the alien from Aliens, but evil duck works. HR Giga just really like ducks, turns out. So yeah, these things have really weird designs and I can't really remember what it looks like, so you get what you get. What are these called? These are called... They give them really long arms. It's like progenitors or something? What's it called? You were just looking at them and you can't remember what they look like. That's fair. Sorry, there's a comment underneath this video. Lol, what a mood breaker. Simon literally just confessed to Cheery by going on a suicide space mission to save her. Then they got miraculously saved. Simon is confused and doesn't know what to do. Cheery is embarrassed because he doesn't understand his gesture of affection, tries to hide it, and then this music happens. So, that's fair. That's the one, Progeniducts. What, something like that. Propane. Propane and propane accessories. Anyway, aliens are on this ship, and I hope you're not colorblind, because it's a puzzle involving color. Yes. There are 8 aliens on the ship, and they revive if you kill another one that isn't of the same color, and they're paired up. So basically, you have to kill, you know, both yellow ones, and then both red ones, and then both purple ones, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I don't know why they decided to put that here, but, you know, maybe that's why the spaceship was abandoned, because it was full of aliens. And us, in our infinite wisdom, have managed to get back on it and try to bring it back to Earth. It's just got sort of more random bits on it as well. I'm not entirely sure. They're like stripes of black in colour. Whatever, I think you get the idea. Big old spalians. Big old spalians. Propagators, that's what they're called. Looking at them, they look like Dark Souls monsters. A bit, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in Dark Souls, to be honest. Frame man. There was a bit of drop frames there, sorry. So yeah, it is a bit of a weird sequence. So yeah, Cheery starts to get a bit emotional because, hey, the love of her life just saved her from space death. That's handy. The triad cards are pretty good. I think at this point in the game I just stopped paying attention to cards. So yeah, with oh, by the way, you have to kill all these aliens with just these 2 characters. So if, like me, you have never used Cheery as a playable character, it might be a bit tricky. But also, if, like me, you know how to absolutely break the junction system, go ahead. Shouldn't be a bother. Cheery, you're not saying questioning your taste in men, but you're questioning your taste in men. Yeah, so once you've killed all the aliens, you go to the control room of the spaceship, and you activate the radio to call for... Did these have tails? Yes, activate the... They've got big old chairs. They've got like nice padding on them. Yes, and you activate the radio, and you send out a distress. Simon sends out a distress beacon. I always keep saying you. I mean Simon. Simon's the main playable character in this game. And Simon goes, "Hello, hello. We need help. We're alive. How's all down there?" And someone picks it up. Surprisingly, I don't know why they're listening. Probably got more important things to be worried about at this point. But yeah. They say, "Hello, who's this? We're getting a signal." We're like, "Hi, we're on board a weird spaceship that looks like a dragon. We survived what with the whole thing in space." And they're like, "Oh, wonderful, excellent. Who survived? Let us know." And they say, "Oh, Simon says, oh, it's Simon and Cheery. Cheery's here. She's now awake." And they're like, okay, right, well, cool. You do know we're gonna have to basically arrest her when she gets back to her. Not arrest her, we're gonna have to seal her up because she's a bit of a danger at this point. We're gonna have to apprehend her when you get back to Earth. It's for the safety of literally everybody on the planet, so I'm sure you understand. Yeah. Because we kind of knew she's a sorceress, basically. She's turned into a sorceress, which is why she can be possessed by the sorceress from the future, I guess. I don't know why that's an explanation. Now I say it out loud, that doesn't actually make any sense, but that's what the game says. Maybe a magic is seeing past the angst to the person beneath. Oh, you can turn into a sorceress, apparently. Maybe it was just always dormant, who knows? Look, it should have been obviously telegraphed from who her parents were. Her parents were a general and a pianist. So, I mean, if you can't work it out from that. He has a very small head. I can fix this. Since when? Again, stop picking up on the things as if introducing new factors in the third part of your story isn't something we've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Does the transformation come with the dress? I don't know where the dress comes from. TM continues to wear her dress after she stops being evil. So, I don't know, maybe she just likes that. Maybe it was just always there in the wardrobe. So now Simon has to deal with some of his emotions of, hey, I've rescued the person I love, but it turns out I'm gonna have to take her back to Earth and she's gonna be put in prison. That doesn't feel good. Yeah, everybody draw your hashtag sorceress dress. Design your own. If you were possessed by a sorceress from the future, what dress would you wear? Is every woman in this story a sorceress? Is Jenny a sorceress? Can she turn into a sorceress? I don't know. Honestly, Jenny would make more sense. So the one thing I didn't tell you is that every character has their own special move called a limit break. And the limit break for Simon is just basically hitting the enemy a lot with his gunblade. The limit break for Pikachu is lots and lots of punches and combos. The limit break for Cheery involves getting Jive to do all the work. But the limit break for Jenny is the ability to use any magic she wants for free. Even magic you haven't seen yet. Even magic that you can only use in the final battle of the game. So it makes far more sense for her to be a sorceress. It's literally endgame magic in Disc 1 for free. Why not? It's a bit of a gamble because you have to keep re-rolling it until you get something good, but Yeah. So Jenny is inexplicably also powerful. Also, Velma eats enemies. No, she doesn't. She, well, she does. That's one of her powers, actually. One of her limit breaks is to just eat the enemy. She's not a sorceress. No, apparently not. But yeah, she learns. Velma learns abilities from enemies, as it were. So basically, most characters have a magic-based. All the female characters you play as have magic-based limit breaks, apart from Cheery. So that's good. Because Cheery just relies on Jive. She literally just fires Jive from a cannon. Dot, dot, dot. That's fair. So Cheery doesn't take the news particularly well. She understands, but she's not particularly happy about it. So while the gravity goes off, because reasons, so her hair's just sort of flying around all over the place. She floats on over to Simon's chair, and they have a cuddle. And she tries to get him to admit any of his feelings, and he's like, nope, because he's a robot. Unless he's having a go at somebody, he has no feelings. Jive is a sorceress? I would say Jive is probably more of a sorceress. They can survive being shot from a cannon. It's like I survived, but at what cost? It was a really awkward embrace. Yeah, it literally fires Jive from a hand cannon. It happens, don't worry about it. Jive's fine. Jive knows better than to do something like that if they're going to get hurt. Getting a feeling everyone is a sorceress but Cheery. Maybe that's what makes her special. Speaking of pianist, no. During this scene, a song plays, which is why I'm not going to explain this conversation in any particular detail, because boy howdy, do I hate that song, and I'm trying to get through this dialogue as quickly as I possibly can, so I'm not paying attention to what they say. Yeah, and the song is the song that was written by No about Jimmy. Do you remember that? Do you remember that No and Jimmy met ages ago, and then Jimmy went off and never came back? But she was inspired by him to write a song and perform, and that song was about him, and it's called Eyes on Me, and that plays during this scene, because it's like, oh, you know, the lost love of her mum and his maybe dad. Finally reunites, and this song plays in the background, and you remember they had that one awkward conversation, exactly. Yeah, so that plays, so that's why I don't really know what's said here, because terrible songs. Although to be fair, it did actually do quite well in the charts. A song from Final Fantasy VIII charted in Japan. It's a cheesy love ballad, you know, the gist. Yeah. Imagine there are buttons on the thing. Yes, and they eventually make it back to Earth, and they land. And let's draw this. Proper sort of Millennium Falcon thing going on here. Also, the spaceship doubles as your new airship. I'm sure you Oh, that is something. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Hang on. Hey, pinches and patches. Love your theme. We are really racing through disc 3, aren't we? So yeah, they arrive back on Earth, which is a sentence you always want to hear in a Final Fantasy game. Slightly stretched because of the gravity. She does have black hair. So that's a thing. I think both TM and Dishonored Jessie have black hair, so maybe that's the thing. At which point, hey, why didn't you notice earlier? Why didn't you think this might happen? So yeah, they are met by a bunch of Spider-Men who are here to capture the new sorceress. And they're like, we're gonna stick you in the thing that Copyright was in space, because we're gonna freeze you in time, or whatever we did to her. And Simon says something along the lines of not too happy about this whole thing. But I guess it's literally for the safety of the entire planet, because, hey, look what happened with TM. They have guns or something. Oh no, they have their pickaxe guns. I forgot about those. Got a zip. So there's a bunch of soldiers to take her away. And Simon ain't happy with it, but Cheery goes, look, I understand at this point, because, hey, Simon, you're an idiot, and I know you're an idiot. I love you, but you're an idiot. I know this is what has to be done. Don't worry. It'll be fine. They're not actively going to try and execute me. They're just keeping me in a prison until they can work out what to do. This is when any sensible person would kill them all and run away with Cheery. Well, hold on to your hats. No. So yeah, they take Cheery away, and they go off to whatever facility or whatever it is. It all gets sorted out. Cheery, don't pretend you're in any situation to call anyone out on their idiocy. Yeah. So, yeah, she gets carried off. And Simon goes back into the ship. Only this time without Cheery. I probably should have kept that picture, shouldn't I? And he sits down in the chair and he gets all depressed. Because it's like, oh, this isn't as fun without two people. Great, man. Don't worry, nothing's happening. Yeah, we're at 0 kilobytes a second. Yeah, thanks, very man. Cheers. Do 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 do. Look, I drew this whole picture while you're away. There's time dilation. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, Twitch is having a time. I do need to sort out my internet connection because something weird is happening and I'm not sure what it is. At least it wasn't as bad as the lag last time. Or yesterday. So yeah, he's sad. That's his sad face. Reminds you a lot of that other picture. It's, yeah. Twitch is having a strong Xenobondulance. Twitch does this around 8:30. At least you can chat in chat. That's occasionally a feature of 8:30 Twitch. So, but guess what? Guess what? Guess what? We got some friends to come cheer us up. Yeah, it's Pikachu. Pikachu's still here. And he's like, hey, I failed to defend the Earth. How are you doing? Did you defend space? No? Cool, we're even then. The Bowling Pin Brigade! And Jenny's like, I'm also here, I helped. We didn't do anything, but I helped with it. Also, I'm a sorceress, I heard on the TV. Her hair goes up, so she can't be a sorceress. How would you sort of thumb over like that? You missed the bowling pins. They're good. I remember when they used to have something to do in the story. She's a sorceress now. Okay, it's a fire spell. I tried the Armageddon spell, but they told me to leave. And I said, Armageddon out of here! And they asked me to leave again. And basically, they're like, hey, you mopey so-and-so, what's going on? And you explain, and they're like, oh, you're an idiot. You really should have told her, you know, that you love her. And he's like, I don't love her. He's like, yes, you do. You're an idiot. You love her. Go tell her you love her. She's going to be encased in carbonite or something stupid. Tell her before it's too late. And then I think Velma comes in and gives quite possibly the worst advice. Yeah, Velma's got one more trick up her sleeve. It might not be Velma, but I'm going to say it is just for the sake of annoyance. Let's say this is her continuing her arc of right from the beginning of the game of being disapproving of Simon's inability to emote. Because she says, and I paraphrase, you should listen to your heart. You should listen to what your heart's telling you and go and break Cheery out of prison, thereby endangering the lives of everybody on this planet, because love is more important than anything. It is at this point that I would like to point out that I think I'm right in saying that every single decision that has been made by the characters in this game who are not higher up in the chain of command has been awful. If this game is supposed to be designed to get people to, hey, believe in yourself and so on and so forth, all of the decisions have been terrible. So if the narrative in this game is anything, it is listen to people when they tell you, listen to your higher ups, don't listen to your peers, don't listen to yourself, just take orders and don't listen to anyone else. Please, for the love of God, don't listen to Velma. Unfortunately, for plot reasons, he listens to Velma. Because he's like, oh, screw it, I'm in love, let's do it. So yeah, despite the fact that he might be endangering the planet, Simon goes, do you know what? Screw it, let's do it. It's at this point, Jenny works out that she can fly this thing. Because Jenny is apparently a very competent pilot. Good on her! And she allows us to fly all over the planet and do lots of stuff like side quests. But for the sake of this stream, we might as well finish this story. The perspective absolutely works in this scene. Do not argue. That's a bit better. Oops. Look, Jenny gets to do a thing. Good for Jenny. I don't know why. She has hitherto not been in any way referenced as a pilot. She's not the one who flies the space potato. That's just a random guy you met earlier in the game. Who I didn't even bother to mention because they are so unimportant. In fact, that is one of the jokes in the game, that they are unimportant and Simon forgets who they are. Good for Jenny, but also you want to punch Simon in the face. That makes sense. Twitch was dying on and off. Why is Jenny's hand on fire? She's a sorceress. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But she's a responsible sorceress, so we don't need to worry about her. Also, Velma just told us to break Jenny out of prison. Break Cheery out of prison. So we're gonna go do that. Can you give her a cheap nose? She has that energy right now. What, the kind of... that sort of nose? Perfect. The magic is random, how is that responsible? Because she only uses it occasionally. She only uses it occasionally when she's delirious from blood loss. Okay. So, yeah, we go to what can only be described as a rip-off of the scene from Final Fantasy VII where Jessimum is encased in something or other, and Jessiroth goes in and breaks her out, but Sonic comes in and with a sword and stops her. But this time, the thing that's being broken out isn't a horrible magical monstrosity, at least in theory. It's Cheery. She's all sort of hooked up to this stuff, about to be put in space prison. Actually, I wonder, hang on. Hey, this is the thing we're doing, this is stupid. Yep, it's happening. Don't worry, it gets more stupid. Do I have the original drawing? Can I just copy it? Do you remember the Final Fantasy VII Drawthrough? Look at simpler times. Look at him. So it was in calm. Oh, that was the best you got apparently. That was. This is what I'm referring to. Evidently, I was a little bit more, a bit more slapdash with my drawing back then. Well, okay. I forgot about Nibelheim. Thank you for showing me the Turks you needed. That's fine. You're gonna panic cleanser. Jerry's like, I do not much care for this. I don't know why I gave Velma and Cheery sort of diagonal cut dresses. I like them. I like asymmetry in dresses is pretty cool. Asymmetry in trousers, less so. I'm looking at you, Tidus. Or Tidus. lads, I'm not liking this. Need to be reminded of better times when not everyone was a moron. A lot of people were morons, but not everyone. Are they sending Jive to space too? Jive stayed on the planet, didn't he? So he's just going to be here. Tidus is wearing his Blitz uniform, so there's a whole bunch of people dressed like that. Fans too, most likely. I guess if you compare it to the average football uniform, that kind of makes sense. A lot of people were morons, but not the dangerous extent that these people are. Yeah, most of the bad things that happened in the game weren't necessarily because of... Moronism isn't a word, is it? Let's just say stupidity. They were more to do with being tricked or misguided or what have you. Most of the morons were in Shinra. Also the Turks, but they're just fun. Yeah, so yeah, what's his face? Simon. Still not used to his name. 16 streams and I'm still not used to it. Simon readies his sword and literally just goes to town smashing bits of scientific equipment with wild abandon. His gun blade. Got chambers in the gun blade. It's a gun, honestly. Don't know why he doesn't shoot it, really. Scientists in Final Fantasy really think they can get away with anything, don't they? No, because there are plucky kids waiting to stop them. Plucky kids think they can get away with anything, and they're right. So yeah, he breaks open the... scientific equipment and all that sort of stuff, the magic prison that she's going to be kept in. And she falls out into his arms and they share an embrace and he finally accepts his feelings for her or whatever. And then soldiers turn up and point guns at them because this is not really a good idea. Yeah, this is a good drawing, sure. Jerry even agreed to this idea, like, yeah. Like, she's as surprised as anyone when this happens. Because she's like, I said I wanted to... What does the sword look like? That's Kyle's. They're just like... Just a normal sort of... Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway. So yeah, he runs up and breaks it, and then loads of people, loads of soldiers turn up with guns, Spider-Man, and point guns at them. And you're like, what do you think you're doing, you bloody idiot? Fortunately for us, a couple of people in robes arrive. Yes, it's the robe. No, hang on, not the robes. We ascertained this. A couple of people in robes and helmets arrive. This is a silly place. It's Estes, baby. We're almost at that conversation, by the way. Maybe we'll do some optional stuff at the beginning of next stream, but then we'll be at that conversation. Because I really want to hit home just how wonderful that statement is. Because while you already know what it's about, I have already said, you know, hey, it's to do with this. You still don't know what it's actually referring to. So yeah, a few people turn up and go, hang on soldiers, calm down, calm your face down. We have orders. These people are to be let free, and the president of Estus wants to see them as soon as possible. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess. Again, this is half a chance they could have just been shot dead at this point, but here we are. The knights at a round table, and dance whatever the table. Routines, got a sins, footwork impeccable. That's the best rhyme. Impeccable. So yeah, they turn up and say, hey, the president wants to see you. Get going. Keep the spaceship, why not? And yeah, we are instructed to go and see the president of Estus. The president. Oh yes, Estus has a president. Of Estus, yes, in particular. Yeah, so we have to go see the president of Estus. I won't draw that now, because now we have control of a ship. We can go anywhere on the planet, and there's a few things we need to do before we do that. So as a little treat to end the stream, we're going to go to a little desert island off in the middle of nowhere. Glad they let us go just like that, yeah. And we're going to get a new Pokemon. As a hurrah for going to space. And that Pokemon, in reference to something we've already mentioned on this stream. What lives in deserts? That's right. There's a hurrah for sitting through Simon's BS, yeah. There's a few weird things I've got to draw for the purposes of finishing up side quests. I thought I'd end with this one because it's fun. Is it the weird long-necked executor? Alas, no. But it's better than that. Although I do actually quite like that executor. It is big ol' cactus friend. But there's one major change. After the stream, you need to pull out your 3D render of the cactus in Discord because you want to look at it. That's fine. I can get it up now if I want. Which one? I did two. I did one with a cape. Yeah, so here was the original. And here is the nope. There we are. There's the there's the other one, the dramatic one. You can't really tell. I spent ages trying to get sequins on that cape. You really can't tell. This one doesn't have quite the same level of accessory. Basically all it has is a wonderful moustache.
I love him.
He's a good. I mean, he's a bad. He can kill you in one hit, but he's a good. Getting that whole 10,000 needles thing. He's big as well. I forgot. He's called Jumbo Cactuar for a reason. He's literally like that. Is not an exaggeration. I think for most of the fight, you cannot see the top of his head. The camera can't even zoom out enough. Yeah, I canonically in the game, you don't actually get this as a Pokemon. What you get is just a normal small Cactuar in the same way that you don't get the Tomberry King, you just get a normal Tomberry. But I like to think this is your Pokemon. This is the Whale Lord of this game. He's big. He's Jumbo. Jumbo Cactuar. Let's get a picture. Okay, maybe it is a slight exaggeration in height, but it's still pretty big. Still, we're talking pretty large here. The moustache is a little curlier than I remember, but you get the idea. Apparently they were originally called Cactrots. Oh, I guess they run, that makes sense. They trot along. He's a friend. Who drew a moustache on him? He has a moustache. It's made of prickly spines, but it's a moustache. Also, their eyes are round in this game. Are their eyes normally round? I feel like their eyes are longer than that. Maybe that's just me. Oh no, they are normally round. Oh, I'm just an idiot. Never mind. He grew it himself. He's very proud of his moustache. So yeah, that's a Pokemon we can get as thanks for going to space. There's a couple more Frame Man. Please. There's a couple more Pokemon that we can go get. He needs a top hat, sure. Yeah, there's a couple more Pokemon we're going to get at the beginning of the next stream, and then we progress to Frame Man does not like me ending the stream. For what is a Frame Man without a stream to pilfer? He mugged a guy for it. Mug is an ability in this game. Yeah. So there's a few more Pokemon we need to get. There's a Pokemon I forgot about as well. I remembered that the other day, and I cannot remember where you get it. I think you get it from TM when we fought her. I just completely forgot about it. So we can get that. We can get that later. That's fine. You can end up getting all your Pokemon at the end of the game. And it kind of works at the end of the game, I guess. Yeah, we'll get to that. Who's that Pokemon? I'll give you a clue. Its silhouette is it's somewhere in between a mech and a castle. I've never quite understood the design of that one, but there's a weirder one. There's a weirder one than that. We'll meet that next time. He was the first tutor of the movie. Ah, okay, I didn't know that. No, you can get it from Gremlin, can't you? Yeah, you can get it from Gremlin. See, I remember these things. Oh, and another... Oh, yeah, so there are... Hang on. 3 Pokemon we're going to get at the beginning of next. Who taught Gremlin? This guy is big. He must be very old. True, and who knows how long ago it was that Gremlin got put in a lamp. So... But then again, probably not the oldest of the Pokemon. One of them is a god. With his wonderful horse. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, that's something that's going to happen. Oh, I nearly forgot about that. Oh, Kyle. So. Oh dear, I'm running over cables. So anyway, thank you for coming along. We're basically through the space nonsense now. There's there's more nonsense to come, but it's not space nonsense. So, so that's something. You can be happy about that, right? We've concluded the arc of story. Oh no, there is one more. I guess kind of important thing. Remind me at the beginning of next time. Flowers. Remind me flowers, because that is quite important, and I just sort of forgot. Space nonsense is done, time nonsense continues. Oh yeah. If you can't mess around with space anymore, you gotta mess around with time. That's gonna be fun. So yeah, we're gonna catch a bunch of Pokemon. Some weird Pokemon we're gonna catch. And then we're gonna go meet the president of Estus. Exciting times. Folks tend to get stabbed over flowers in these games. Yeah. I guess this is kind of the opposite. Maybe, maybe not. Depends how you view it. The ending of this game's weird. Who's the president of Estus? We'll have to find out next time. On the Gymnal Fantasy Age Drawthrough. Yeah. Yeah. So, hope you had fun. I guess we're gonna make it to 20. I think there'll be 20 streams of this, because next time we're gonna finish off disc 3, maybe. No, probably next time and the time after that we might finish off disc 3. Maybe we'll finish off disc 3 tomorrow, next week. But then we got the whole last area to do, and yeah. Oh hey, look, it's the Turks again. It's Clefairy. I mean, honestly, I know the answer to that question, and you might as well be. Yeah, so tomorrow we're playing a game. What game, you ask? Well, that's a secret, even from me. I haven't worked it out yet, but we're gonna work it out. I forgot Vine was the thing. So, games. Should we start a long playthrough? Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe. I've got a long list of games I want to play, and I can't decide which of any of them to play. Ooh. The fairies are back again. I guess, yeah, that's kind of a connection, I guess. You only found out about Vine when it was dead. That's fair. Yeah. So a game tomorrow. I don't know what. Any suggestions? Would you like to see a longer game started, or another small game? Or maybe a game I've played before, but I wanna have another little crack at, little explore and show off to people. Or something that, or a couple of really small games in one stream. Same, but you watch enough Vine compilations to know at least some of the references. I think I found out about Vine through Limmy. He used to do a lot of Vine stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's all new to me. If it isn't Bebo on MySpace, it's all new. If it isn't MSN Messenger. If it wasn't around at the same time as dial-up. Yeah, so. Thanks for coming along to the stream. It was a stream. I got a lot done. We got through a lot of story. What's that web rings? Welcome to AOL. You have email. I wonder what Tom's doing nowadays. Probably retiring on a lot of money. And good on him. I don't want to be in the social media game now. He got out while it was still not too toxic. Somehow, a website devoted to everybody having their own page and ranking how important their friends are publicly didn't lead to as much toxicity as Twitter. What a weird world we live in. Yeah. Thanks for coming along. Game tomorrow. I don't know what I don't know what I'm gonna play. We'll find out. We'll find out together. So have a wonderful time. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great week. enjoy this wonderful, slightly spoilery music. And I'll see you around. Thanks for keeping me company. Thanks for suggesting nonsense. And I hope you enjoy the remainder of this game, because there's still some weird stuff to go. So, yeah. Have a great time. Thanks for being here. Goodbye.